Oh my god. Oh, if only you could talk.
From the moment the T-Ocellus blinked back at Boy Kavalier in the lab, the entire story of Alien Earth shifted. This wasn't just a grotesque alien specimen locked in containment anymore. This was intelligence staring back, an intelligence capable of calculation, of comprehension, of more than survival. And Boy Kavalier knew it. In the latest episode, we see Kavalier do something simple, almost understated. He gives the creature a math problem, a pattern, a puzzle that no simple animal could solve. And the T-Ocellus not only responds, it responds correctly. That single moment is a pivot point, because now, Kavalier isn't just looking at a dangerous parasite, he's looking at a potential mind. And the question becomes, what happens if you give that mind a voice? But here's the problem. The T-Ocellus can't speak on its own. It's an alien organism, a parasitic intelligence, and to communicate, to truly express its thoughts, it would need a host. And that's where the story converges on one man, Morrow. Morrow's situation is fragile, almost tragic. Captured by Kirsh, he's no longer the calculating figure trying to play angles behind the scenes. Now he's vulnerable, a prisoner, and in that vulnerability, he may have become the perfect candidate. Why Morrow? On the surface, he doesn't seem like the obvious choice. He's not a scientist like Arthur, not a leader like Kavalier. He's not physically powerful or strategically vital in the way Kirsh is, but precisely because of that, because of his compromised position, Morrow is uniquely placed. Boy Kavalier can use him without destabilizing his own power structure. If something goes wrong, if the T-Ocellus kills him, consumes him, or breaks free, Kavalier loses nothing irreplaceable. And yet, if it works, if the experiment succeeds, then Morrow becomes something entirely new, a human mind intertwined with alien intelligence, a translator for the unknowable. The pros of using Morrow are almost too convenient. He's expendable, he's contained, he has no remaining leverage, and he already showed enough cunning to suggest his mind isn't weak. For the T-Ocellus to truly shine, to display its intelligence through a host, it would need someone sharp enough to handle the merging without immediately collapsing. Morrow ironically fits that bill, but then come the cons. Morrow is unpredictable. Even in captivity, even in weakness, he tries to maneuver. A T-Ocellus inside him wouldn't be easy to control. It wouldn't be a compliant mouthpiece. It would be two wills fused together. Morrow's human drive and the alien's inscrutable purpose. That could be dangerous. What if Morrow likes the power? What if he embraces it and turns it against Kavalier? And there's another risk. What if the T-Ocellus isn't just intelligent, but manipulative in its own right? What if it uses Morrow not to communicate, but to escape? Boy Kavalier knows all of this. He isn't reckless, which is why the choice of host matters so much. Other candidates exist. Kirsh, for example. Loyal, efficient, dangerous. But infecting Kirsh would be a massive gamble. If Kirsh is compromised, Kavalier loses his right hand, his enforcer, his balance. Too risky. Arthur's body could be considered, but Arthur represents knowledge, and tampering with that legacy risks destabilizing everything. Arthur's remains are too symbolically loaded. There's also the possibility of a volunteer, one of the minor figures in the background who might be persuaded, tricked, or coerced into becoming the host. But such figures lack the complexity needed. A weak mind might break under the strain, leaving the T-Ocellus mute, useless. And so the circle closes back to Morrow, intelligent enough to matter, expendable enough to sacrifice, vulnerable enough to control, at least in theory. And here's the chilling part. Boy Kavalier isn't experimenting just to satisfy curiosity. He's testing the boundaries of communication, because if the T-Ocellus can speak, if it can reason, if it can share knowledge, then the very definition of humanity's relationship to these creatures changes. They're not just parasites, they're a species, a rival, a potential partner, or a catastrophic threat. Morrow may not understand it yet, but his fate could reshape the balance between humans and the alien presence on Earth. He's gone from a manipulator in the shadows to a pawn in a far greater experiment, and if Kavalier succeeds, Morrow won't just be remembered as a man who was captured. He'll be remembered as the first human who truly hosted the alien mind, the first bridge between two intelligences, species, or the first casualty of a dangerous new evolution. So when we look back at this episode, at that single moment when the T-Ocellus solved Kavalier's test, we see the seeds of something terrifying, because Kavalier's next step won't be containment, it won't be destruction, it will be integration, and Morrow may be the perfect test subject, because sometimes history isn't written by the strongest or the smartest, sometimes it's written by the one who just happened to be in the wrong place, at the right time.